Will, that you are in Nottingham. Good morning.
Loud and clear, Ben.
Good morning, Will.
Good morning.
What can you tell us,
Yes, well, you can see the police presence behind me. If I just step to the side, we're in Nottingham city centre right now. This is one of many cordons that is in place in the city today. This particular one is Milton Street, but you've just been talking about Ilkeston Road, as well as various other roads that have been closed in and out of the city. The latest that we're hearing from police right now is that a 31-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after 3 people were found dead in the city. Now, this is very much a new statement. It just came out within the last 10 to 20 minutes after what's been quite a worrisome time for people living here in the city centre, with a lot of media attention as well as a lot of interest in what's been going on here. The very basics that we can talk about right now are that the 31-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Just reading from this police statement, they said that police were called to Ilkeston Road just after 4 a.m, where 2 people were found dead in the street. Officers were then called to another incident in Milton Street, that's where I'm standing right now, where a man had attempted to run over 3 people. They are currently being treated in hospital. A man has also been found dead in Magdala Road, which is another area where there is a police cordon right now. Just reading from the Chief Constable's statement, Kate Maynell, she said, this is a horrific, tragic incident which has claimed the lives of 3 people. We believe these incidents are all linked and we have a man in custody. This investigation is at its early stages, and a team of detectives is working to establish exactly what happened. We ask the public to be patient while inquiries continue. At this time, a number of roads in the city will remain closed as the investigation progresses. This really is the heart of the city. This is actually one of the busiest roads leading in and out of the city. It's a road called Mansfield Road because it connects to possibly the biggest town just about 30 or so miles away from here, Mansfield. So lots of people use this route for the buses. They've been severely disrupted this morning, but of course the trams as well here in Nottingham. Nottingham Express Transit has said that there's been major disruption on the trams today because of this incident, because there are so many points of focus here today with this ongoing incident that police are describing as a serious incident.
Will, we know he's 31. Do we know anything else about the man who's in custody?
That's really all we're being told right now from police and official sources. There are, of course, videos and eyewitness statements, but right now what we're being told by the police is that a 31-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after 3 people were found dead in the city.
And 3 fatalities, shocking news for people waking up to hear this, Will. Do we know anything about the victims?
Unfortunately, no. This is still a very early investigation that detectives from Nottinghamshire Police are working on. There is a lot of media attention. There is a lot of interest from the public. You might even see them dotting around behind us. But as to what I've seen so far this morning, we don't know anything about the victims and we don't know anything about who might have committed these crimes.
And are the streets still very quiet where you are, Will?
Well, Nottingham is a bustling metropolitan city. It's a city of around 300,000 people or so. Lots of people live and work in the city. They also come in to the city from surrounding towns and neighbourhoods to come in here. This street would usually have lots of people going up back and forth. On my left-hand side is Nottingham's Victoria Centre. It used to be the train station many years ago. Lots of people that are watching might remember coming into Nottingham on the old train station. So this really is the heart of the city. Over on my right-hand side, for example, if you walked up the street for 5 minutes, you'd be at Nottingham Trent University, where 10,000, 20,000 students spend their time. As you mentioned earlier, speaking to your previous guest as well, this is the heart of student territory here in Nottingham. If you go a mile in any direction outside of where we are right now, you'll find student flats, and you'll find lots of people that go about their business, enjoying Nottingham as a city, as well as enjoying the benefits of living in a student city. So it is very busy normally. I wouldn't say that it is a complete ghost town as such right now. If you maybe walk 20 to 30 metres to a part of the city where the routes are still open, buses are still finding their way in and out of the city, but it seems to be having a massive effect, and it's gaining major interest from the national media as well.
Will, we've had Mark White in the studio earlier. We've often spoken to him about county lines, drug gang issues in various cities, particularly in London. Do you have any idea whether Nottingham has a similar sort of problem?
Well, Nottingham is a Midland city. It is right at the heart of the country, so the police do pay particular attention to those forms of crime. They do have teams that work directly with young people here in the city and keep a close eye on what's going on with those sorts of things. But in relation to this incident in particular, they haven't made any sort of connection as to why this incident might have happened. But they have announced quite recently that 3 people have died in the city, and they have announced that a person has been arrested on suspicion of murder.
Well, police say they were called after 4 a.m. where 2 people were found dead in the street. Then they were called to another incident a mile away where a van had attempted to run over 3 people. Now, those 3 people are currently being treated in hospital. Do we know anything about their condition?
It's not something that the media has been told about officially by police right now. This is still very much an ongoing, active case. They say that in a police statement that the detectives are looking into this right now, and it is a serious incident that they're describing, but it is still very much the developing stages. So while there'll be lots of media interest from the public, I imagine Nottinghamshire Police will be asking people to give them the space to find out exactly what has happened here.
OK, if you're listening on the radio, we're taking it for granted because we've been looking at this footage all morning, but if you are tuning in your car or your kitchen, what we're looking at here is some rather clear but handheld phone footage, of course, from a mobile phone. It looks like it's taken from an upstairs window, looking down onto the road. The scaffolding, which slightly obscures the view of what is happening, but there are clearly 2 police officers holding somebody on the ground. A 3rd police officer moves in and out of shot, and we believe this is the van that the gentleman was dragged out of. I use that word, probably a more appropriate one. Was dragged out of. There are 2 quite clear signs of impact on the windscreen of the van, where we thought initially maybe they were bullet marks because there were definitely armed police on the scene, but we're now, having discussed it with Mark White, we wonder whether they were more baseball bat or batons, effectively, Andrew.
Yeah,